Yo, what is going on, my fellow weebs? Crow here, and welcome back. We just recently watched the headline wave, and there is quite a bit scheduled for what looks like the next 3 months of NGS. We got we have this description here that actually showed that it was going to talk about June, July, and August, which made people believe it was going to be a fairly packed headline. And to be perfectly honest, it was about what I expected, but the fact that it included things going on in the next few months as well, kind of crazy. We're going to go over everything you guys need to know about the headline and give you guys my overall thoughts on how I felt about it. So the first thing that we actually went over, first thing they did was, of course, introduction. We talked about the fact they got Alexio instead of Knuckles, which is kind of dope. Some of you guys don't have your Alexios yet. Very sad, but hold on to that just a moment. And then we went directly into a video from the producer and from the developers. So instead of having it during the operation report, they went and did it right at the very beginning. So let's go ahead and watch that really quick here.
Share from the NGS team.
Greetings, Arcs. Thank you for continuing to enjoy NGS. I'm Hamazaki, the series director. This June will mark the 5th anniversary of NGS's launch. The development and operations team extends our heartfelt thanks to all ARCS defenders who have continued playing for many years.
We were joking that this might be EOS
starting
voice.
their journey on Alpha.
They saw Destiny. It's like, it's meta over Destiny. It has to be meta here, right? Don't worry, it's not.
We prepared this video to introduce the new content coming this summer in June, July, and August. So let's take a look.
There's still too much to do.
Your life is coming to an end.
You're an eyesore! That will not happen again!
I said this during the presentation, but if you guys use those voices around me, I will be banning you.
Hey there. Thanks for coming.
You're the one who was in the Altar Realm.
I'm sorry if I alarmed you. I'm Crawford. I'm not the person you saw in the Altar Realm.
Look who's back. And we're back to getting titles for our updates again.
What did you think? In June, we're introducing the new Ruins field and 2 new face options. We're also planning for the release of the 15-star Granillusion weapon series and
Now,
our 5th
I'll let this play.
anniversary celebration event, the Shin Super Origin Festival. Now, we've had a lot of questions asking, how does the new Ruins field fit into the world of NGS? It'll take some time for it all to unfold, but we will be exploring that more in future content. I think you'll all enjoy it. Now, let's take a look at the new 15-star Granillusion series. These will be
Okay, so he's going to talk about the 15-star itself. The only thing to keep in mind of the 15-star they talk about is that it is basically going to be our new series, similar to the Spradio. Like, it's essentially going to be the new free upgrade weapon. It's going to upgrade over time. More or less, it's going to be that same sort of series itself. It's the first 15 star. They confirmed it's going to be a little bit weaker than Lexio. Likely will be stronger by the time it upgrades. So just keep that in mind. That is, for those of you guys who are running those weapons, I recommend most players who play this game, that is the weapon series that you want to use, because you can transfer off of it for free. No transfer pass is necessary, and it is plenty powerful enough to keep up with consistent stuff. Slap some LCs on it, get some cheap capsules, and you are going to be plenty powerful. It's all about the explain here. Pretty cool stuff. We saw a lot of really interesting things here. I'm going to go over just a couple of things that we saw in the mix here really fast. So big things of note. They show off the ruins area. For those who recognize the ruins area, you're going to be in for a treat. For those of you guys who do miss old school PSO2 base game grinding, it is going to be coming back. Again, if you use this voice around me, I will be adding you to my ban list. They confirmed a new version, a new high difficulty boss version, Soulless Crypt, or Souls Crypt actually, is what they're calling it. New attacks, new damage types, all good stuff here. So, and then of course, you know, Chapter 9, Ruin Angel is being, or Ruin Anga is coming back, so that'll be fun. Along with increases to level cap, increases to EX style cap, and 2 new EX skills. Looks like First Strike and Blast Echo Quick Trigger. We don't know what that is just yet, so we'll have to see how that works. And then of course we have the naming scheme back for our updates again, which is kind of nice to see. And then let's see if we can pull up what the name is. It is right here. Tainted Incarnation of the Origin. Oh, sorry, Tainted Incarnation of Origin. So interesting thing to see here. Moving forward, we have the first weeks of updates, which is a ton going on in the first week. First 2 weeks actually has a lot of information. It has a lot of stuff going on. So start out with mentioning that we have a rerun collection scratch. This is pretty standard stuff. They do rewinds so that people that are coming in later on down the line have the access to getting a hold of these things, and they don't have to deal with absorbent market prices if they don't want to. But the reality is that the prices still kind of are fairly, like, they're still kind of up there to begin with. So just keep that in mind as things go on. Popular face item, revival scratch. About 40 of the most popular face items are coming back in a revival scratch as well. And then after the first, on the 12th draw, you'll be able to get to the end sphere accessory, which is actually a fairly sought after accessory. So pretty dope. They go into talking about that we'll have the Shin Super Origin Festival going on. So as soon as the current festival ends, this one's going to be going on immediately afterwards. Of course, we have, it looks like a new version of the Epith series is finally coming out. So we have Epith series weapons 4s, as well as armor 4s, and some skill rings attainable for you. Looks like there'll be 2 skill rings that'll be available for those individuals. People who are using free gear will get a bit of an upgrade, thank God. Respectfully, if you're still using free gear and you've been playing consistently, then I don't know what you're doing with your life. The 15-star Grand Illusion weapon series will be starting up with EX Augment 3s. No, these do not replace your A variant augments. Your A variant augments are still going to be quite powerful. These are slightly weaker than those variants. Something to keep in mind, though, is that transferring things is going to be a bit of a pain. So if you are someone who likes to prepare, I highly recommend you pick up your A variant augments now, this week, while the scratch is available. I think it might be going away the next day or so, but when this video goes live, if you can do it, pick it up now. That way you have it prepared for your next weapon instead of buying it in between seasons where things are ridiculously expensive. During the Shin Super Origin Festival, you have up to 150 free scratches. This is an AC scratch, not an SG scratch. 150 AC scratches. They'll have a ton of items, hairstyles, accessories, voice tickets, and emotes galore for you guys during this time frame. So these are things that you can technically hold on to, sell, do whatever you want with. It's up to you. These are AC items. And then, of course, there's the login bonus giving you 10 thankful scratch tickets as well. We also have the Super Reward Box coming back. Triple the amount of total rewards. Step 1, Perfect Rewards, offers a new accessory. Step 2 offers thankful scratch tickets. And then, of course, the urgent quests are pre-announced and are double completion. And the salon is use the salon to your heart's content with a huge super rate boots. I can't speak, rate boosts going on right now during that time frame. Since Super Origin Festival going on, 5th anniversary stuff starts on June 3rd. So everything I just mentioned, keep in mind, starts June 3rd. All of this stuff is June 3rd. So this is all next week. We have Ziatre, our navigator, who's going to be wearing a wedding gown, some wedding related stuff. We have some camos to show off, throwbacks to the original camos with different variants of them, the CV2 for Resurger and Tvisti Almaty's. Pretty dope stuff. Usual things here, though. Nothing too out of the ordinary, nothing too crazy. Keep going. We also have the announcement, of course, of the Realm Investigation Ruins. Yes, that is next week. They also show off how it's going to work, what it looks like. Things you can see and note from the actual presentation is one, it's a 12-man zone, similar to the original 12-man zones. Two, there's no time limit to the area itself. You enter and you can stay in there as long as you want. Three, there are trials similar to that of base game. So you have trials that you run around and do. There are boosts available as well. So you do get points while you're in there, and you can boost up and get power from defeating enemies, things of that sort. You can stack on a bunch of boosts in order however you like to gain power. Be able to farm enemies while you're in there to your heart's content. So yeah, new hunt, rally, rare enemy infestations, Grim Monolith Purge trials, plus a new boss fight, Ruin, Zesh Rider. What was the word they used for this one? I can't remember what it is. It's I don't know my symbols. I think off the top of my head, someone in chat's gonna mention it in just a moment here. But either way, Ruin Shrider is coming back. Lambda, that's it. Thank you, Lambda. Ruin Shredder Lambda. So not Zesh Shredder, but Ruin Shredder Lambda. And of course, the 15-star weapons are going to drop from there with the EX augments level 3. I believe they show them off here if I can find it. Here we go. So yeah, we talk about the new equipment. So we have the 15-star Rarity Grand Illusion weapon series. It has boost to critical rate, damage resistance, and lowers PP cost consumptions. Works similar to the 12-star Colorodium series and other weapons before that, where you can transfer off of them for free, off of them specifically, not onto them. So if you're transferring off of the weapon, it doesn't cost you a transfer pass, but transferring to it from a weapon that doesn't get free transfers will cost you a pass. So just keep that in mind. If you're going from the Spradio series, you can transfer off of the Spradio series for free. And then of course these will upgrade and you can continue that whole process moving forward. So keep that in mind. And then we have 3 new EX augments. These are variant 3 EX augments. As you can see, the baselines for them are 6.25 and 6.25 and 6.5. So they're about as strong as our A variant augments currently, meaning we may see an increase in those augments. So be aware and be careful with your expenditures. You might see those augments increase in power, similar to how in the past you have seen UD and Arati increase to UD and Lars increase to yours and so on and so forth. It's possible that that might happen again. No guarantee, but it might. We have EX Tech Arts Onslaught, so potency plus 1.5 for 20 seconds when using a different PA or technique. So it's not specific to you have to augment or you have to swap between PAs and techniques, but you use a different PA or technique once every 20 seconds, you will get that bonus. So actually pretty solid. We also have EX Blight Burst. So when attacking an enemy weak point and elemental weakness, you get a bonus for 10 seconds. So I think this is or, not and. Well, no, it says PB plus 2 when attacking elemental weak points and when attacking enemy weak points and elemental weakness. So I think this is meaning like attacking one or the other. You don't have to hit both, of course, because you don't have access to elemental weakness for some classes. So basically, as long as you hit the weak spot or you hit with the elemental weakness, you're good to go and you get this damage bonus, which is pretty solid. It's 6.5 and plus 2% for PB gauge, which is pretty nice. And then Blight Onslaught is plus 1.5% potency when attacking an enemy's weak points and elemental weakness. So this is going to be really good for Ranger and for Force. As long as you're hitting an elemental weak spot or a weak point, you're getting a damage bonus. So that's pretty dope. It looks like this one is consistent. So this is like not a, you have to hit it once every 20 seconds or whatever, the Blight Onslaught, where Blight PB Burst is as long as you're hitting it once every 10 seconds, you're good to go. There might be an ICD in this one. We're not 100% sure, but we'll have to see how that works out. But these are all fairly powerful. So likely be the new go-tos for most people. Moving on, we have Tech Arts customization being added as well. They showed off Sword. They showed off a tech. They showed off specifically, I think it was Zonde. They showed off Swift Smash was what it looked like for Wand, as well as... What else did they show off? I can't remember the other thing they showed off. I think that's all it was. But they mentioned specifically Photon Arts for Sword, Twin Daggers, Katana, Soaring Blades, Assault Rifles, Twin Machine Guns, Talus, Wand, and Harmonizers. and also lightning techs are going to be used in this specific one. It was Revolt Aim, that's what it was. And this is Gizonde specifically, is what's going on. Gizonde had like a field that kind of stayed on the ground. Swift Smash, after executing Swift Smash, there was like a pulse of AoEs that happened. I don't remember specifically what Revolt Aim did, and then what Sword did as well. Someone in chat can mention it, or you can check out the description, excuse me, the comments below, and someone will mention it there. Level cap is going to 120. Of course, they're increasing the potency of Mars. That's going to go up based on your battle power, so keep that in mind. And they're doing new updates for Nameless City Investigation. Actually, new updates for Nameless City Entertainment Zone Investigation, with for exploration points now being easier to get a hold of them. 2 new face options are being added in. Animatica Face B and Animatica Face C options are being added in. They're also doing some various improvements to Creative Space stuff. And Creative Space and Salon, excuse me. So we have, the Salon will have up to 1,000 slots for creation data for PC and cloud versions of the game only, so not console. Apologies, console players. New shapes are added into build parts for Creative Space. You can kind of see them here, the little glows and things like that. And then out of nowhere, PSO2 Battle Arena is getting some updates. Available weapons on some emblem scramble maps have changed. So Volcano Knight will have swords, soaring blades, twin machine guns, photon bow, and talus, while Tokyo will have swords, soaring blades, assault rifles, and rods. I can't think of the last time I saw an update for PvP, but here we are. Very interesting. Now this is one that is a bit controversial, but I want to be very clear on this one specifically, because people are going to take this out of context and kind of freak out, as they tend to do when it comes to anything AI based. So this is a conversational mag AI, this is a feature test announcement. This is not something they have implemented in game. This is a feature test, and they're looking for feedback from this. Essentially what this is more or less just an AI chatbot thingy. They're making it so you can talk to the My AI, essentially. If you've played, I've played games like Where Winds Meets, where you're able to chat back and forth, and like there's an AI that talks to you or whatever. That's more or less what they're looking to do. As soon as I saw this, my first thought was, man, this AI is going to hear some pretty awful things. There'll be a lot of self-reporting going on with people. But this isn't like we're injecting AIs into like art in the video game. We're having AI made ask or anything along those lines. It's a chat thingy or whatever. And to be honest, this is a test feature. Give feedback. Something you don't like, say, hey, look, we don't like it. That's simple. It's going to be available during the test period, and that's it. This is the reason why they updated their TOS for the use of generative AI, because this has to be updated as far as that process goes. So just keep that in mind. It's more or less a chat bot. It's very common in a lot of games that are going around now, on the CN side and on the Korean side and on the Japan side and things like that. They're trying to make it so you can basically talk with your mag. So cool, I guess. If you don't really care for it, I would say, hey, we don't really care for it. It's not something I want to see resources go into. It's that simple. Revival for 5th anniversary. There's not a whole lot to say here. Just it's a revival scratch. Tickets available. Some items we've already seen beforehand with some bonus stuff going along with it as well. So the ticket version scratch count bonus features contains beta reactors and silver big bang to scratch tickets. So it's very, very important to grab as many of these free that you can actually grab. That way you can do as many of these pulls as you possibly can to get all of the extra bonuses you can get from the scratch count bonuses. Give constructive feedback. I know it's hard. It is difficult for people to give constructive feedback, but more of a like, I don't like thing. I don't care for it. It's fine. That's a reasonable thing to say, because that's something they're going to want to look for too. We have another Niji Sanji collab. At this point, we're pretty much convinced they just had a long-standing contract. Like, I'm convinced they had a long-standing contract. We're also convinced this is probably the reason why the new faces came about, was for the individual libraries are being added in. We can see outfits for them as well as standees, and there is a scratch for them too. Talks about the visual for to commemorate them and who actually made it, which is pretty cool. And then the scratch itself, you can see the outfits, some body pillows, stamps, voices are included as well. There's a couple of idols as well. Actually, I think these are all the different idols. Yeah, these are the idols here. So pretty cool stuff. We also have a new limited time quest coming on the 9th, Arcs Fight Fest. This is training data left behind by Goroa. to join an ARC's Fight Fest, which means that you'll be seeing Aleo Town before it was destroyed. So it's going to be a VR mission based on Aleo Town before it was destroyed. You also apparently are meant to team up with characters you're not used to seeing, so expect to see that too. Let's see, Aleo urgent quests. Oh, this is a limited time urgent quest. I didn't realize this was an LTQ. This is a limited time urgent quest. So this is going to be replacing all of Aleo's urgent quests. I didn't even notice that. They're also saying very specifically, Meseta boosts do not apply to ARC's Fight Fest, which is interesting too. Not sure why. New mission pass. Mission pass is mission pass. I've said it once, say it 1,000 times. The mission pass needs to include more shop passes for free-to-play players. It only has one. Will I see more? And then, of course, a T1 and T2 costume revival this time around. So T1 and T2 style costumes are being brought back. Just 2 separate scratches. One's T1, one's T2. If you're spending money, this is probably the one you want to spend on. This one is the one that you're probably trying to get stuff from if you're T1. But T2 is where all the money is going to be. So and that is everything for the first half. That was like 35 minutes of stuff. Kind of crazy. I think it's like 20 minutes of our video so far. It's insane. All right. We also have the limited special training Sonic Sprint 2 and Shadow Sprint 2 coming back. So they're doing the Sonic stuff for Sonic Anniversary or Sonic's birthday. Pretty much expected. Basically, it's the previous LTQs cycling day by day with updated bosses, high leveled up boss, things like that. It looks like all of the bosses also seem to be either gold or silver, so it's trying to like push more rewards in from what I can tell here. Probably why they have this whole like you can't use Meseta boosting items and blah 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 blah. We also have the collaboration scratch, including some new outfit stuff. So we got some shirts. We have a very cursed looking Shadow outfit in my opinion, but it is what it is. It's there. And a bunch more things like stamps, stamps, build parts, so on and so forth. Oh, and you get 100 of the pulls just for logging in. There will also be some bonuses or boosts going on Sonic's birthday for the 35th anniversary. That combined with the PSO2 boost is going to give you up to 350% boost, so that's pretty dope. And then there will be a keyword where you can just say Sonic underscore 35th underscore anniversary dot or anniv dot to get another 35 of the collaboration tickets. Wait, I feel like I skipped over something. Did I? No. Okay, we're good. Winning celebration scratch. It's a scratch. There's nothing too crazy here. We also have Stellar Graces returning. The big ticket thing here from Stellar Graces returning is completing Stellar Graces are going to give you up to 30 transfer vouchers. So they hear people complain about transfer vouchers. They're adding some in here. We'll have to see if that's something that continues forward. We definitely need more, but that is a start. And they're showing off what the PS2 June Memories is. Every month, the 21st, as well as the 1st or the 2nd, we get a a revival scratch. One for base PS2. One for NGS. This is the base PS2 one. The NGS one's at the start of the month, so pretty standard stuff. They're also doing a revival for the Sonic style Heroines AC scratch. So in case you missed any of the Shadow Idols or dashes, any of the outfits that Man and Ina or Nadora were wearing, then you can get them here. Of course, it also includes the total wear for each one of those characters and their outfits as well. Nameless City Exploration is also getting an update for the Great Rapid Succession trial. Basically, whenever this spawns, you're going to also be able to just do this to get points. That'll be pretty cool. And there's also a hairstyle revival scratch. It's a scratch. There's not much to say about it. If you're curious about the hairstyles, here they all are. Something that you're looking forward to. Hopefully the prices will be something reasonable, or if it's something you're going to invest money into, be able to make quite a bit of money off of it. Moving forward, so that's everything for the updated information. Now we have the operation report. Operation report just had some, since we already watched the video at the start that they usually would put in here, they just skipped over to the questions immediately. The TLDR is they're adjusting the sound that Ryukers make in towns, as some people find it kind of grating with the high-pitched sound on their ears. If it doesn't bother you, that sound just doesn't bother you. It's that simple. But that's something they'll be changing in August. They're going to make it so you can copy and paste preset or customizable presets in August as well. And also there's a new song. There was a whole new song along with a new opening. We're not going to listen to it here. I'll leave a link for you guys to go ahead and listen to it on your own. Definitely worth some time, but it's just a cute little song. It feels like the intro basically. anyone's like, you know, I'm not a big fan of the story, I don't really know what even happened, this kind of goes over a lot of what happened during the story. It's kind of like a nice little retrospective. So I'll let them watch that and enjoy it. That's pretty cool. Yep, talked about that. We talked about that. Yep. We also have a collab announced with other creators, like ones that work in kind of the gaming space, that make outfits, do art and things like that for games, so on and so forth. The first one is Natsuki Kamui, who is responsible for making very kimono themed outfits. You guys have seen these outfits in the past. They're going to be making another set in the near future, so look forward to that. They talk about the web store, which I've always said, always mention this to people. Buy things from the web store. If you're going to buy any AC, buy it from the web store. Either that or EGS, and then use, of course, code catastrophe at checkout. One of the two. But yeah, buy from here first. It's where you're going to get the most discounts. It's going to be more expensive in other places because, of course, they have to account for venue fees. So, and they talk about the new character. That's pretty much it. That's the entire thing. We watched the show, and that's everything that you have to look forward to over the next month and a little bit of what's coming in the few months after that. The biggest thing to note here as well is that we'll be seeing a second half of the year roadmap during the next headline, which will be, I believe they said June 30th. So just be aware and be ready. It's going back to Tuesday. So that's not a Tuesday. Whatever that Tuesday of that week is, it's that day. So just keep that in mind. As far as how I feel about the headline, it was pretty solid. I mean, I honestly, 7 out of 10. I'm excited for the new weapons that are coming up. I'm excited to be able to go check out the new grind area, the grind zone. I think it's going to be a bit of a wake-up call to some people because people talk about how amazing it was to grind back in base PSO2. I've always said that it's very, very, very specific quests that have been really good back then. But outside of that, it's mostly what we're used to, which is just grinding mobs in a big area. This is almost one for one exactly as it was back then, which was you kind of create a circle and you run in that circle, you run to trials, you kill enemies, so on and so forth. The only big thing that's different here is that they added in boosts and bonuses that you can get for your characters as you're going into it. The TACs are looking to be pretty dope. I'm looking to see what the new EX style skills are. These are the first ones that we're getting, so going from 30 to 40, so that's pretty dope. As well as the new EX augments and how those are going to function in the mix. New 15-star weapons are pretty cool too. It's nice to see those pop up. It's about time for them to. I know some people are like, oh my god, already, but let's be real, the Luxios were never meant to be those weapons. The Luxios were in between, and they are Legendios or Legend series weapons, not our mainline series weapon. But that's pretty much it. What do you guys think about the headline? What are you looking forward to? I really want to see people actually go into the Realm Investigation Ruins and see what it was like to grind, if that's what they were looking for. And hey, maybe I'm eating my words. Maybe this is the type of grind that players really want. And if it is, and they're bringing it back, then so be it. I'm here for it. I'm happy. If that works, that works. Maybe, fingers crossed, it gets everyone out of freaking deck space. If nothing else, if it can at least get people out of deck space, then I'm happy. But that's all I've got for you guys today. If there's anything I missed, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe when you keep up with more. As always, thank you to the channel members as well as the Patreon members. You guys are fantastic, and I appreciate every single one of you. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, my friends. Peace out.